What's up, guys? I got a question today from a high school player, and he wanted my advice. He said that he's walked about 28 times so far this year, which is an awful lot of walks for a high school season. And he's getting nervous that because he's getting pitched around, he's not going to put up great numbers, and this could eventually affect his draft stock. Now, he's a younger player, but he's a good player, and eventually I think he has a good chance of getting drafted. But there's a few things I want to say about this. The first thing that I would say is don't think about the draft or what you have to do to get drafted. Don't worry about who's in the stands watching you, whether it's professional scouts or college coaches or whatever it may be. If you're paying attention and thinking about who's watching you, you're not focused on what you need to do on the field. If you're a good player, just worry about playing well. Let everything else take care of itself. You don't want to add any undue pressure to what you're already doing out there. Baseball is a tough enough game if we're just focusing on the game of baseball. We can't think about everything that's going on outside the field. We need to eliminate as many distractions as possible. And if you start thinking about who's watching and all this stuff, you're going to try to do too much or more than you're capable of doing. So just do your job and do what you've done your whole career to get to the point where someone could be watching you or wants you to get drafted or wants you to go to their school. That's the first thing I would say. The second thing is, when you're getting walked a lot, there's really nothing you can do about it. If they want to pitch around you, they're going to pitch around you, whether it's an intentional walk or an unintentional walk. So there's no reason to get frustrated, because if you do get frustrated, when you finally do get a pitch to hit, you're not going to hit it. Typically what happens is, when you get walked a lot, you get mad, you get upset, and you want to prove that you're a great hitter. Well, when they finally do give you that pitch to hit, you want to hit it so bad that sometimes you get out of your zone. You try to hit it too far. You try to swing too hard. And when you try to do something more than you're capable of doing, you're not going to be able to do it well. That's just the way baseball goes. You can't try too hard. You have to let things happen. So don't become over-aggressive because you're not getting pitched to, and don't try harder. A lot of times what will happen is you want to hit so bad that now you start expanding your zone and you start swinging at anything close because you say, I'm sick of getting walked and I want to hit. And that's natural. Everybody wants to hit. But you can't expand your zone to where now you're chasing pitches out of the zone so your strikeouts go out. Or you're trying to hit pitches that you shouldn't be trying to hit, and now we're getting out and we're not putting solid contact on. So focus in on your job, stick with your game plan, stick with hitting good pitches, and if they want to walk you, hey, let them walk you. You'll take your first base. Eventually they're going to throw to you. The third part is, when you get your pitch eventually, you got to do damage with it. And this kind of goes back to not getting out of your zone and sticking with your pitch. Always stick with your pitch, because eventually you're going to get it. They're not going to walk you every single time. They're eventually going to throw to you. There's going to be times when you get up and there's going to be men in scoring position, and okay, maybe the catcher puts his arm out and they walk you. But there's also going to be times where nobody's on base. Maybe you're up by a lot or you're down by a lot. Maybe it's early in the game. They're going to give you your pitches. The most important thing is when you get your pitch to put a good swing on it and don't try too much. Just a quick example. The year that Barry Bonds broke the record for home runs in a season, he also broke the record for walks in a season. He was getting intentionally walked every single game, at least one time a game. Sometimes twice, sometimes three times. A lot of times he would get one pitch in a game, or even one pitch in a series. And he had the discipline to stick with his pitch, and when he got his pitch, he hit it. He didn't chase balls. He didn't try to do too much. He stuck with his game plan, and eventually they came around, and you know what? They gave him 73 pitches to hit that year, and he hit them out. So that's the sign of a good hitter, is when you don't get out of your zone, and you stick with your game plan, and you have the mental toughness to not try too hard. Just put the bat on the ball. You're a good hitter. Just do your job. That's pretty much what it comes down to. So that's my advice. Don't put too much pressure on yourself and stay with your game plan. Eventually you're going to get pitches to hit. Just make sure you hit them. All right, thanks for the question. Keep sending the questions in. I appreciate it, guys, and thanks a lot.